Hey guys, so I just want to go over the basics of step 1 for teaching the recall. So again, this is the very first thing you're doing. It's the very first step. Now, this is just a quick review. First thing you want to do, get your cue, get a clear definition. It's going to be here, not come here, just here. And I'll use come around the house more casually, but it's going to be here, and that means immediately stop what you're doing. In a straight line, quickly come to me and stay in front of me until I release you. Now these are safety, so I really honestly think that your command should include all of those, and if you want to throw in a sit, once your dog has a really good, nice, solid recall and is hanging up at your side, I don't think there's any harm in it as long as the sit doesn't equal correction. So clear definition, and now, I just said it before, we're going to set the mood. We're in a nice, calm, quiet house. There's not a lot going on. He's on leash. All dogs in training are on leash so that we can help them and we don't leave them confused. We don't set them up to fail. We don't set them up to run off. We don't let them stuck there, sitting there. So, just because he's on leash does not mean I'm going to pull him towards me if I can help it. Right? Like I just said, it's there to help. So if he needs that extra guidance, we're going to make sure that when he hears it, he immediately comes to me. But if your dog is waiting for that pull, and then this becomes the come to me command. And what happens when he's off leash? There's no way to tug him. So whether you're doing e-collar training or not, whether your goal's off leash training or not, you gotta start with your dog being reliable in the house. So step 1, we've just picked the command. We're doing here immediately. Stop what you're doing. Come straight to me, quickly. Hang out in front of me until I release you. And we're gonna do a lot of collars. Now, I have really good food. I have chicken, boiled chicken, in teeny tiny pieces. For this command, it's super important that you want to make it, you want to use really high value food rewards, and he's also going to have his favorite game, tug and fetch and all that, for coming when called. So that it's just he knows great things are going to happen. Now I have a whole tips video about the things you shouldn't do, and it's a lengthy video, and I'm going to really recommend that you sit through that video. But for right now, we're just going to go over what to do. So all I'm going to do is make association. I'm going to pair this word with really high value food rewards. That's it. Step 1, with no distractions, just word and amazing things happen. Now you hear the crinkling caught his attention, right? So as soon as possible, get away from the treats. Not the treats, but get away from the bags. Get away from the treat pouch. Get away from the Tupperware containers. Get away from the refrigerator. Because they know. He knows now. He's like, oh, I get it. But I'm still going to have to demonstrate. So, here, between my legs, or between my feet or against my legs. Good boy. Break. The reason why? I want him coming all the way to me. I don't want him getting in the habit of stopping a foot or two away from me. Here. Good boy. In the beginning, the first few times I do this, I just say the command, and treats essentially rain from the sky. I want him to really focus on the command and the wonderful association. So you're going to do this a few times. Here, in your house. Now if I had been here, standing right in this position, that's my marker, that's my guide, and he didn't come, I would go to him, and I go all the way back to where I was standing, and then I give him the piece of food. Alright, if you are starting in this situation, here! Good boy, that's right. Good, so I waited for him to get slightly distracted. But if you're in this situation, they shouldn't get distracted. I'm ideally not using the leash, right? But if he was really confused, I'm not going to let him. I'm going to give him, help him, and it's going to be the little tug and release. It's going to be pull, pull, pull. Because a lot of times if you do a straight pull, you got to feel out your dog. But a lot of times if you just pull, your dog pulls back. So a little pull, release, pull, release, pull, release. Really quick motion. Now, as soon as you've done that a few times, and be generous with the treats, practice in all the rooms of your house, you want to start waiting for him. Get a little distracted or something. Oh, yeah. Here! Yeah, good boy! Good job! Excellent! Good job, buddy. Good boy. So you want to wait for your dog to then start to get slightly distracted by normal things that aren't terribly tempting for him. We're not setting him up to fail, we're setting him up to win. So your dog is laying on their bed, your dog is sunbathing, your dog is chewing a toy, your dog is playing with a regular toy that they like but don't love, not something super special. And then you say the magical word and they come to you. You can also break up their favorite toys, so then their favorite game, like with him, it'd be Tug or something like that. I'd say the cue and he comes to me. Now, you want it, like I said, do every room of your house. As long as the room is off limits, call them into it, including bathrooms, pantries, whatever the case may be. As long as it's not a completely off limits area, practice there. Have each family member call them back and forth. And then once you've done a few times where the word equals the good thing, it's going to be like any other command. Name, command, and I'm going to mark the moment he commits to coming to me. Somebody. Milo, here? Yes, good boy. Good job, buddy. Here. And if you moved away, I back up. Now you notice, in general, I back up a little bit. That's because backing away from a dog is naturally going to encourage them to come towards you. So your first set of goals is to do this repeatedly. I mean a lot. You want a knee-jerk reaction. So your dog is on leash. If they don't respond to that second, you're going to quickly back out and get that slight pressure and release. It's just a little pull and release. Not a straight pull most of the time. If you pull, like you pull your dog, you're going to pull back. So you just pull. It's just like that, real quick release. And you're going to come to, you're going to practice on the 6-foot leash before you graduate. Inside, then outside, right outside your house where your dog spends the most amount of time, then on walks. If your dog cannot, on a 6-foot leash with squirrels 30 feet away, come to you, your dog cannot do that on a 30-foot leash. It's just that simple. So, I mean, you work through this gradually. So 1, inside, start off, parry the word, then wait till your dog is slightly distracted, get away from the baggie. You see how, I have to do it for a setup, but you see how quickly he knows and he's listening for that bag noise. Get away from that. Have family members help you. Take it out, take it on the road, take it on your walks. If you're out walking your dog and going, don't start there. Work up to it, but if you're walking your dog every day, within a couple of days, you should be doing this on walks. And you call him, and then you go back. Don't call your dog from a sit like this. This is a setup so I can demonstrate. It's okay if you're doing, like I said, the first pairing a few times. So your dog hears the word, says, woohoo, this is amazing, this is great. All I have to do is come to her and great things happen. Like I said, between your feet or against your leg. But don't only practice when your dog is paying attention. In real life, you will need to call your dog when he is chasing a squirrel, when a neighbor pops out of a house across a busy road, or with a kid or their dog or whatever, or someone drops cooked bones by accident. You're eating dinner, you drop a plate, the bones are going on the ground, and you want your dog to come and not go after those things. So it's not practical if your dog is sitting here waiting for you to say something so you can get something amazing, whether it's food or food and play. And that's the only time you practice, it won't carry over to real life. So start here, build on your, build with distractions. And we will put out another video to show you what the next steps look like. Good boy.